Hello and welcome everybody. Today we are going to edit our Instagram photos to make them pop on your Instagram gallery. For that, we'll be using Adobe Photoshop Camera Raw filter. As always, I'm going to show you step by step how to turn an image like this into this. So, if you want to get more useful tutorials and tips, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also activate the notifications so you never miss more upcoming tutorials like this. So let's go! So here we are once again in Photoshop. I have it open already, and I have told you before, today we are going to be editing our photos to really pop on your Instagram gallery. So we're going to take a dull photo and edit to become more visually appealing. So without further ado, let's start. For this tutorial, I'm going to use one of my own images that I'm going to share with you. You can download it in the link below that I put on the description of this video. You can use it to follow this tutorial and you can download it for free. So to get started, I'm going to drag it to Photoshop. As you can see, the photo is in TIFF format, and as soon as I drag it to my Photoshop, it already opens with the Camera Raw filter. And in your case, if the photo doesn't immediately open in the Camera Raw, you can just go to Filters, Menu in Photoshop, and select Camera Raw filter, and then a panel like this will open. Also, if you don't have Camera Raw installed on your computer, you can just go to Adobe website and download it from there because it's free. So now that I have my image open, as you can see, that is a little bit flat, and also the exposure is a little bit dark. So what we gotta do is start lowering the exposure a little bit, just to recover those blown areas in the sky. Now we're going to drop down the highlights so that we can recover even more of the blue in the sky. As you can see, we already recovered that area of the sky that was all blown up. Next, we're going to lift the shadows so that we can have more balance between the highlights and the shadows. Now we are going to increase the whites in the image so that we can make the clouds pop a little bit. And we're going to also reduce the blacks to eliminate those very dark areas. Now, as we can see, the image is way more balanced. And if we toggle between before and after, we have made a good improvement already. Now we're going to add a little bit more sharpness with the clarity option. Go to zoom. We got to zoom in, as you can see, is way more sharp. I think it's good like this. Now we got to make the colors more stronger by adding more vibrance. And also sliding the hue saturation. We're gonna make the general colors more pronounced. Looks pretty good, like this. But we're going to make some more tweaks in some colors to make it look even better. Next, we're going to adjust the white balance. And we're going to make the whole image a little more warm by adding yellow. Now we already have a huge difference from the starting image. As you can see, before and after, we have already turned this image into something more visually appealing, and now we got to focus in making some specific colors stand out, like the ocean and the sky. So for that, we're going to HSL adjustments. That stands for hue, saturation, and luminance. And now we're going to increase the saturation on the oranges. Next, we're going to increase the saturation on the aquas. As we can see, it's affecting the lighter parts of the water. We want to make those aqua colors stand out. And we're also going to increase the saturation of the blues to make the water and the sky to also stand out. Yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. And now we got to change the hue saturation in the hue tab. And we're going to turn the aquas more to the green side to make a better separation from the blue of the water. Now we're going to adjust the blues and turning the blues a little bit to the green side too. So next, we're going to adjust the lightness of each color, the luminance tab, and we're going to increase the light on the oranges. Yeah, I think it's good like this to make the orange stand out. And now we're going to the aquas. We gotta lift the aquas a little bit. We're going to decrease the lightness of the blues to make a more dramatic sky. And I think it's very nice now, as you can see. Before and after. It looks great, and it will look amazing on your Instagram gallery. And now we're going to add a little bit of light on the green. Okay. And in the next step, we gotta work on the highlights and shadows. As you can see, if we increase the saturation, it will give a red tone to the highlights. But we want the highlights to be more orange, so we're just going to add it a little bit. And we're going to also add some blues to the shadows to make that teal and orange look, but not too much. So as you can see, before and after, we can see a subtle difference, but I think it's enough to make the image look nice. So now we can see before and after, we turn a flat image in a great looking image with all these cool colors. Editing is going to make your Instagram page look really nice and way more professional. So now we're done with our image and it turned out awesome. So now it's time to export it to Instagram. So for exporting to Instagram, we have to keep in mind some specifications that are required by Instagram and that you have to follow so that your photos maintain the quality and the colors. And for that, we're going to make sure that we're going to export the image profile in sRGB. And we can change that by clicking here on Camera Raw to change the image profile to sRGB. Okay. So now we are ready to go to Photoshop. We're going to open the image. But before, I'm going to push the saturation a bit further because I like a colorful image. And now we're good to go to open the image back to Photoshop to export. Now we have our image here and we're going to unlock the layer by clicking 2 times over it. Now we got to go to Canvas tool or press C key on the keyboard for shortcut. Now another specification that Instagram has is the image ratio has to be 1:1. That is a square image, or if you have a portrait image, you can do it with a ratio of 4:5. These are the ideal proportions for Instagram. So I'm going to adjust my image. I'm using the 1:1 ratio because I want a square image. I think it's the more suitable proportion for this image. Okay, now we can move the image around to make better framing. And now we press enter. And we're going to double check if our color profile is in sRGB by going to edit, color settings. And as we can see, everything is fine. We have sRGB selected. So next we're going to image size, and we're going to change the width and the height to 1080 pixels because this is the maximum size that Instagram allows. Okay, now we are ready to export. We have to go to File, Export, Export As. And we're going to select JPEG. All the settings are okay. We don't need to change anything because we have already set everything to export. Now we got to click export and name our image. And we are all done. Now you have your photo ready to post on Instagram, and I think it turned out great. We reached the end of another video. I hope it was useful and easy to follow, and I hope you guys join me in another tutorial. So for that, please feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss future lessons. Thank you for your support and thank you for watching. I hope to see you soon in my next one. Stay tuned and make sure you keep designing.